Hey, this is Brian with Top on My Coffee. I just got myself a K-Elite. I got a lot of Keurigs, but I've literally never owned a K-Elite. So I'm going to set the whole thing up and start using it fresh. And I'm going to let you guys follow along. It's never been plugged in, never had water in it, never done anything to it at all. So we got to start by installing the water filter, the charcoal water filter that comes with it. And set the clock. Let's get going. All right, here, let me move these out of the way. When you buy any of the Keurig coffee makers that actually come with a charcoal water filter, they usually come like this. You get this little frame right here. I don't know what they call it, but it's a frame. It's got like a little mesh filter, not a filter. It's got like little tiny holes down here. Let's see, where's the camera? There they are. You see that? Then in here, it comes with one charcoal water filter. Now you can buy this frame separately. Some of the machines, a lot of the machines actually, have a little spot inside the water reservoir that clips into. Here on the bottom, there's these little flippy clip things. See that right there? Those things clip into it. A lot of the modern machines have something that you can clip that into, but when you buy it, it doesn't come with that. Charcoal water filters also don't come with a lot of the modern Keurig machines, except for the high-end stuff, but you can buy these things separately. When you get these things fresh, you should run them under cold water just at the tap for a couple minutes just to kind of get rid of some of the dust, and that's what I'm going to do. All right, nice and wet now. This clip comes apart, so you pull that bottom part off. Then you can take your water filter, your charcoal filter, and you set it right in it. So it kind of looks like that. It's not focusing on it, but it's like that. Then you take your over clip, go right over the top, snaps together. So now when you put this into the water filter, the only way that water will go into the machine itself is if it goes down and it goes through the charcoal filter, and then it comes out of these little holes at the bottom, and then it cycles through the machine. So that's good to go. Now I'm going to install it inside the water reservoir of the Keurig K-Elite. All right. This is what I'm talking about, this little black circle thing. That is the clip that's inside the reservoir on many of the machines that don't even come with the charcoal water filter. If you purchase one of these, it will always clip onto one of those. Now some of the machines have a very shallow water reservoir. Okay, Duo's got a shallow reservoir, and a couple of the others. They actually make a clip like this that's not so tall. It's about that high. I don't have one here to show you, but you can buy those. And I guess if you've got a machine like that, I've never seen one of those in like Walmart or a department store, but they're certainly on Amazon. All right, so now it's in there, and it's not going anywhere. So now I'm gonna fill this thing up with water. Now, if you were really on the ball, you'd have taken this whole thing over to the sink and washed it out with some soap before you even did any of what I did. But hey, I don't know, we're not all perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on and throw it on the machine. What I will do, which I do every single time, this is something that I never forget to do, is I run a handful, maybe like 1 to 3, depending on how ambitious I am, 1 to 3 cycles of just plain water through the machine to kind of make sure that the internal components are rinsed out. All right, now that I've got my water reservoir on, I gotta power this thing up. So let me move my K-Select out of the way. I'm gonna plug this in. This is actually one of the fancier control panels of any Keurig that I've seen. Here's the K-Select. Fairly simple, but we do have 4 buttons plus a strung. This one gives us a full-on display and 5 different buttons with an ice and a hot water. So here you can see this little clock icon. When I hit the settings button, the clock icon, I can go and change the time. Oops, I was timed out. So I can set the time. I can set the minutes. And then you have the option of setting the temperature, the brew temperature. So it gives you 5 increments to choose from. In most cases, it's best to keep it on the top setting unless you're at a super high altitude. So I'm going to keep mine at 192. This setting right here, this little sun icon, I've got this set to on right now. This will allow you to set a time that the whole machine just turns on in the morning before you even like hit the on button, and it will start warming up water that's in the internal tank, which is pretty cool. This is like a unique thing to all of the Keurigs as far as I know. I don't think any other Keurig has that little sun icon. It will turn on, but it won't brew. So let me get back to it here. On, yeah. And I'm going to set that to, I usually get up about 6:30 to 7. So I'm going to do 7 o'clock. So at 7 o'clock, whether I come down here or not, the whole coffee machine is going to turn on and the internal tank will start warming up water for me so that it's ready to go when I am. Now this little moon icon, this is the auto off function. So you can set it to turn off automatically. Basically stop keeping the tank warm after a duration time has passed. That can be in 15-minute increments all the way up to 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and set that. So I have it set to start warming up at 7 a.m. or any time that I turn it on and open the thing up. The auto off, I'll have that on. I can bump it up to all the way up to 2 hours. And let's say I brew a coffee now, it will stay hot for 2 hours. And then it will turn off by itself. Now this icon, this is cool. A lot of the machines have a high altitude. That's supposed to look like a mountain. If you turn the high altitude on, then that means that your temperature is locked at 187. I can't put it up. See how it tells me I'm at a high altitude with that mountain? Basically, if you're at over 6,000 feet, boiling temperature starts dropping. So the machine kind of works a little bit differently at high altitudes. So it doesn't really work very well at 192. It works better at 187. I'm sure there's some engineer at Keurig that has decided that 187 is the optimal temperature for higher altitudes. So let me turn that off, even though I'm close to high altitude. And that's it. So at this point, I've got the clock set. I've got an auto on. I've got it set to turn on and start warming up the internal tank at 7 in the morning, whether I'm here or not. And then I have it set to turn the tank off 2 hours after it was last used, or 2 hours after it turns on if it hasn't been used. Now at this point, we need to rinse out the internal components. For that, I'm going to put my coffee maker there. Now this is kind of cool. This is another function that's not present on any of the other Keurigs. You can turn it on and press the hot water button. Now it's going to warm up hot water, And then I can push any of these brew sizes, and it's only going to spit out hot water. Although the other machines, to do that, you have to literally open the lid and then close it without putting anything in. This gives you an option just to hit a button and a button, and it will brew hot water without you even having to touch the lid. I don't know, it's a small creature comfort, but I appreciate it. Now that the internal tank is heated up, when I hit the hot water button, all of these lights blink. I can choose whichever size I want. Here I got 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 ounces. I'm going to do just 8 ounces. And then it's just going to brew hot water. I'm going to do that a couple more times to rinse out the internal components of this machine. And then I'm going to start fiddling around with all of the actual brew settings, just like I do with all of the coffee makers that I review and compare to the others. And then I would expect to start producing some videos on this after I've brewed and drunk some coffee from this thing a good handful of times. So I hope that you find this video interesting and helpful. I think you're going to find the follow-up videos to this video even more helpful. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and look for those when they come out. This is literally the first time this machine has been turned on. In future videos, I guarantee you, I will have used this quite a bit and I'll have a lot more to say about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.